Good afternoon and welcome to the Annika Academy and the Callaway Performance Center. This is our second webcast, and I want to tell you the first one was a success, and I'm happy to be chatting with you again. This webcasting is really exciting because it's a fun way, innovative way to share information, what I call in an interactive manner. Today's webcast is going to be all about club fitting, and we're going to do it right here at the Annika Academy with what we call the CPAS, Callaway Performance Analysis System. But before we get into the meat of the webcast, let me just give you a little brief overview of what you will be expecting today. First of all, we do a little introduction, and I'm the host, so I'll be doing most of the talking. Then we get into the content segment, and that's where I invite an expert from the team that will be talking about the topic in this specific webcast. And today, again, we talk about club fit. And the last part of our webcast, we're going to have what we call a question answering session. And this is when you have a chance to participate actively with us. So send in your questions to my Twitter account, it's Annika59, or hashtag AnnikaOnAir, and we will read all the questions and we will try and answer as many as we can. At the Annika Academy here at Reunion Resort, we teach more of a holistic approach to the game because it's not just about having a good swing, a good technique, and a good short game. You really need a lot more than that. And we mentioned the club fit, but what we also teach here is fitness, nutrition, the importance of eating right, and of course, club course management and the fundamentals of holding a club and swinging, which is what we did in the first webcast. So having said that, I want to introduce my expert in my team, Mark Bariza. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, great. Thank you for joining the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm so happy to be here and to show off Callaway Performance Center. What a great piece of technology we have here. We're lucky to have this. Again, it's just one of 15 in the country. And Callaway has done so much in the advancement of development of clubs, and this is one of the tools that they really focused in on to make these great golf clubs. And they found it was so cool, they put it in the hands of the consumers, and that's why we're here, is to fit these guests that we have here. I've been club fitting for 14 years or so now, and there's no tool that's more precise and more easy to use and more clear-cut as far as putting the right clubs into our guest hands than CPAS.
Yeah, and I mean, you're one of the two club fitters that we have here, and really what you do is you train to give our guests the opportunity to try different clubs, so to help them improve their game, but also reach their full potential. And that's something that I've noticed through the years. I mean, as a professional, I've always had the opportunity to have the latest clubs in my hands. You know, I've tried different clubs, really want to make sure that I maximize my game. And so many fans through the years have always said, hey, when can we get a chance to do it? When can I go in and try all the clubs? And well, the time is here. And like you said, we're just one out of 15 in the country that do this. So again, I'm glad you're part of the show. I thought maybe why don't I warm up a little bit?
Sounds good.
And you can explain more in detail what this is really all about.
All right, go hit some shots.
Okay.
Well, Callaway Performance Centers, it features CPAS, and CPAS stands for Callaway Performance Analysis System, and this is a two-part system. There's two different screens that you can see behind me. And what happens with this is you take a swing, and there's two cameras that are located above the area where you're hitting. Those cameras are very high speed, but the real high speed part of it are the flashes. And every once in a while you see, yeah, there's a flash right there. It's actually 8 flashes going at 10,000 times per second. And it's really fast. And it produces wonderful images of the golf club head and the golf ball through the most important part of the swing, and that's through impact. So all of our clubs that we test, including the clubs that you own, your 6-iron, your driver, we're going to put reflectors on. You're going to be able to hit shots and see what they're doing on this system. Again, what it does is it takes 16 photographs from 2 different angles, creating a 3-dimensional image, and also gives us a ball flight here in a virtual training center. I'll get back to more of that once we have Annika hit some shots. But again, the real key to this is it's photographic evidence. It's really just exactly what is going on. There's no guesswork in it, and it makes our job as club fitters very easy. So why don't we go over and we'll try some shots with Annika and see how it works.
Well, I'm warmed up, so
good.
What do you want me to hit first?
Well, we've got 6-irons here. I've got yours,
okay,
and I've got 2 other 6-irons. And the first one I want you to try out, this isn't what I'd normally put you in as far as testing, but for our purposes here, I'm going to put you in our Diablo Edge, which is really easy to hit club. It's the extension of the Big Bertha line. It's got a real nice big perimeter weighting on this club, nice wide sole for good turf interaction, and a pretty lightweight, light flex graphite shaft here. So I just want you to really get the experience of feeling what the opposite end of the spectrums are from club to club.
Well, you're right. I feel it's quite light, and it's what I call whippy. It's a little softer shaft.
Yeah.
So, but Let me give it a shot. I love the shaft. It's colorful. It's nice. All right, let's go. Okay.
Awfully different sound to it too.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously here it's tough to tell exactly how far. I mean, normally we will open up the door here.
That's a good point. I think it's something we need to point out that most fitting systems, you're kind of inside of an enclosed hitting booth. We've got a nice big hitting booth here. On normal club fittings, we're going to have that door rolled wide open. It's a big, huge garage door there. And you can see the driving range and the beautiful hotel at Reunion Resort here on the other side. So that gives you that aspect of really feeling like you're hitting shots into the outside. So we're going to try our second club here now, which is more of a blade style club. This is the Razor X Forged. So a forged club head being one that's made from a solid piece of steel. It's just kind of hammered into its shape, giving it a real solid feel. Kind of a sleek looking club, thinner top line, whereas that Diablo Edge, this is more of a cast club where you're pouring the material into a mold. So it's got a different feel, different properties to it.
I just love the way these razor irons look. I mean, it's more of a traditional feel, but of course still forgiving, obviously with nowadays technology, but I love the look of it. And again, like you said, whoa, this shaft is a little stiff, so I'll give it a shot.
The KBS X-Flex, so it's a relatively heavy shaft and very stiff. Okay. So you're going to feel like you may have to work a little more at that. But again, opposite end of the spectrum of what we're trying here.
And again, the key is obviously to put the same swing on. You don't want to adjust the swing to the clubs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'll sit up here. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I could feel, it feels heavier and you have to work it a little bit more. But
that extra weight, that's good for some players and for others it's not so good. We're trying to get a balance of the feel of the club head and the weight of the club head so it gets you working the correct muscles and not overworking your hands or arms in the swing. So what I've given you here is your club, which is a Diablo Forged.
Yeah, it looks familiar.
Yeah, it's right in between kind of what those two clubs that we've had you hit prior to this. It's got a cavity back, but it's a forged club head. So it's real unique in that it gives you the feel and the look of that forged club head, but it gives you a little bit of that milled cavity, so you've got some forgiveness in the club head.
And that's something, I mean, you just brought up a good point, is, being familiar and feeling comfortable. I mean, yes, it's important to have the right numbers and, having a club that's, efficient and works well for you, but to me also, the look of it, and obviously the grip, we'll talk more about the grip, but you're sitting up here, I mean, standing over the ball, lining up, we all know that if you feel comfortable over a shot, you're most likely going to hit a good shot.
Huge important part of fitting is making sure you like the way the club looks when you get up.
Okay.
Good.
There we go.
3 shots with 3 different clubs. Why don't we go over and take a look at what these numbers mean?
Let's do. I'm curious.
Yeah, hold your club here. We're just going to walk over to the first screen here. That last shot now is represented on this screen here from 2 different angles. You can see that the green line here in 3 different spots. That's your club face right before impact of the ball, and there's the golf ball. Here it is from a little more zoomed out view. There's the golf ball being hit and flying off in the direction of the target.
Okay.
The computer really quickly reads this information and they populate it in this screen over here. This is the next thing I want to take a look at. You can actually see the animation of your shot that you just hit. So if we...
This is Pebble Beach, right? The 18?
Number 18, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really hit a 6 on off, but it's a good demonstration here.
Well, you might if you were playing for the ladies' tee and just wanted to make a par. But you've done really good on that last shot, right at the target. But let's go back to the first club that you hit. Now, this was the Diablo Edge with that light flex graphite shaft. As you can expect, you hit it out to the right there. So Jackson hit the letter A on that keyboard. There's the ball flight.
Okay.
Target's here. So a little bit out to the right. So that club wasn't able to keep up with your swing speed. Hit A again, please. And we have got our numbers. These are some great numbers that make it real easy for us as club fitters to tell you what's going on.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just to point out here, even if you're not used to all these numbers, they might seem overwhelming, but that's why you guys are here. You're trained and you can interpret these numbers, so don't get overwhelmed. But this is really a great way to figure out the club works for you or not.
Sure. Yeah, this is it. The number one thing for a club fitter, though, is looking for consistency in ball flight first. You want to make sure that we're seeing something in the ball flight that makes sense. But here we can already see it's going out to the right a little bit. The numbers are saying it's pretty efficient, but does that mean you're going to hit it at the target every time? Not necessarily, because we're talking about club head speed and ball speed, which gives us our efficiency here.
And head speed, just to clarify that, because I get the question a lot. A lot of people say, well, what's your club head speed? And But really, when you measure that, it's mostly with a driver. I mean,
Yeah.
that's when, I think at my peak I was 102, 103, and you see some of the guys, I mean, on tour now they're 110, maybe even.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Dustin Johnson's probably up 120, maybe even
Yeah.
more. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. You're not going to get to 100 miles per hour with a 6-iron. If you did, well, congratulations.
I've seen it a couple times.
So maybe I can get some pointers from them. But that's something to keep in mind.
Okay. Well, looking again though at your club head speed, it has to do with you. There's no right or wrong with that. If somebody asks you, what club head speed should I have? Well, it's more about who you are. What's your level of fitness? What are you looking to get out of the game? What we're here to do is maximize your ball speed out of your club head speed. And what you've got is a ball speed of 104.6 with this club, giving you really ideal efficiency with this golf club at 94%. Well, you're saying 94, well, that doesn't sound that good. I mean, knowing you, you're thinking, I want 100%. I want 102%. Well, with a 6-iron, that's what 94% is. It's the maximum amount of efficiency we can get. In other words, you're getting the perfect amount of ball speed from your club head speed.
Okay.
If we're hitting a driver, then we're looking at efficiency that's 100%. But here with the 6-iron, that's real good. But the direction wasn't quite as good. So let's look at the next club.
Okay.
90% efficient on this one. This is the really heavy X-Flex now. Still a little bit to the right, but you can see your club head speed at 73.6 slowed down, and the ball speed greatly reduced there.
I see that.
And your distance suffered from that, and the direction wasn't quite there. So you're working really hard to get really very little ball speed out there.
What about all these other numbers?
As
Can
we
you
go down,
explain a little bit?
It's really a simple equation when you look at these numbers here as far as breaking it down into sections. These 4 numbers here, which include club head speed, ball speed, your attack angle, that's the angle of the golf club in relation to the ground as it returns to impact. The path angle, that's the angle of the golf club in relation to the target line. All these things, including efficiency, have to do with what you are doing with the golf club. Okay. Looking down a little further, launch angle, the angle of the ball leaving the club face, the backspin, that's how much backspin you have in the golf. Very important number, by the way.
Yeah, maybe we can clarify that, because a lot of people say, well, how do I get backspin when you hit the wedges? Well, first of all, this is 6-iron, so we're not really looking for backswing for the ball to stop and spin back on the green. But again, if you don't have backspin, you're not going to get the ball to be up in the air. So backspin is important. It's obviously how much or how little.
Yeah, we want that range to be right in the right spot so the ball hangs in the air at the proper angle, lands at the proper angle. Otherwise, too little backspin, it doesn't get up in the air and it just dies. Too much, rises up in the air.
I've seen them both, high and low, so I know
you played
what
with
that's
enough
like.
in those programs to see what's going on. And then we have side angle, that's the direction of the ball leaving the club face.
Okay.
And side spin. So we've got backspin. Backspin is the spin of the ball going straight back towards you. And then there's spin off to the side. All right. In this case, it's a little bit to the left, so it's just drawing just a touch, but really nothing to speak of. So this set of numbers is what the golf club is doing to the golf ball. Also, really important to look at. And then we've got the information from the virtual training center. So it's building a ball flight, including the distance, the carry, the total distance, dispersion to the target, and also the height of the shot. So
and then always playing 18 at Pebble, it's into the wind. We know that.
Yeah, pretty much 300 days out of the year. Those other days, you never know. So. You're looking at 90% efficient in this one, but not quite where we want to be. Let's see what your club did. Okay, went right at the target.
All right.
Back home where we want to be, pointing right at the target. 92%, anything in that range, 92 to 94 is what we're looking for. Okay. You've got your club head speed at 73.4, but look at the jump in the ball speed from that last one. You were under 100 miles per hour. Now we've got that extra couple miles per hour ball speed giving you more distance. So this club at the target, good efficiency. You're getting that ball speed that we need. You've got good backspin. All the numbers are telling us that you had a great club fit to begin with. So why don't we keep this one in your bag?
I'm going to keep this. This is a keeper. Well, thank you, Mark. I mean, this is really exciting, I think. I mean, through the years, I've been, I'm one of those players that, I will grab a club and I would look at it. I like to look, and then I hit, and I would like to feel, and then obviously the results are the most important. I mean, playing as a professional, it's the results that that matters. So I really appreciate you explaining. This is really interesting. So. Talking about answers, I think that we have received some questions through the webcast. You want to take a look and see what we have?
While we were doing it, so let's take a look at a couple here.